Hey everyone, it's Tyler Strike from Universal Rackets, and in this video we are going to be going over the checkpoints of the two-handed backhand. If you need to improve your two-handed backhand drive, or if you want to learn how to hit a two-handed backhand drive, then this is going to be the video for you. We're going to go over, once again, all the checkpoints, all the tips, and all the tricks for you to hit an amazing two-handed backhand. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the proper grip. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that your dominant hand is on the bottom and your non-dominant hand is on the top. Once again, you want to make sure if you're a right-hand player, you want your right hand on bottom, left hand on top. If you're a left-hand player, you want your left hand on bottom, right hand on the top. You need to make sure that your dominant hand is on the bottom. You want to put your non-dominant hand on the top. Now, I think this is huge. A lot of players, sometimes they like to put their finger up here so they can get some angle. However, if you want to hit an amazing drive, I recommend to keep both your hands on the paddle and don't touch the paddle face. The reason why is because if you can have both your hands on the grip of the paddle, that's going to allow you to have more leverage when you go and you're hit. Now, the next tip that you need to do is after proper grip, you want to be in the proper ready position. You want to make sure that your paddle tip is facing upward and it's out in front. Now, the paddle tip facing upward is huge. The reason why is a lot of players have their paddle tip facing down when they're trying to hit a backhand drive. I want you to think, whenever my paddle tip is facing down, where's the ball going to go? It is going to go up. So if I have my paddle tip facing down, when I swing, it's going to go up. The only way that I can get that ball in is if I hit that ball super slow. So I want to make sure, again, for my ready position, that my paddle tip is facing up and it is out in front when I hit. Now, the next thing is the take back, and this is huge. Too many players, they struggle with the two-handed backhand. They can't hit a good two-handed backhand because of their take back. What I mean by that is a lot of players, they don't take their paddle back. They take it here and then they have no power, or they take their paddle back way too far behind their body. When I have the proper take back, I want to make sure the face of my paddle is pointing to the side and the tip of my paddle is pointing up and backward. That's going to start with the ready position, okay? So again, I'm going to take my paddle back, faces to the side, tip of the paddle is pointing up and backwards. This is my take back. I want you to notice, we're not in baseball, but my elbow is up and active. So again, when I do it, I'm going to be here. I want to make sure also that I show the front of my back shoulder towards my opponent. My hips are facing to the side. You need to be turned, and this is huge. Again, a lot of players, they can't hit a good backhand. Their backhand sucks. It doesn't work because what? They're here and then they go, right? No, I need to make sure that I'm all the way turned, show back shoulder, and then I am going to go. You need to think on your two-handed backhand, it's your non-dominant side, number one, and number two, if you're using two hands, it is more restricted. On your forehand, you might be able to get away with certain technical flaws. On your backhand, though, you're not going to be able to muscle it. You're not going to be able to get away with it, so you have to make sure that you're in the proper position. Now, after take back, then we have to do the drop. Again, I'm going to take the paddle back here, and then all I'm going to do is just release my hands. Notice when I release my hands, my paddle tip is going to be facing downward. Now, this is a big thing, the drop. I want my paddle tip to be facing downwards prior or after the take back, prior to contact. The reason why is because this is going to allow me to get low to high and under the ball. There's two things that you have to do in order to hit your backhand over net. Number one is hit the ball forward, but number two is hit the ball over a net. By dropping your paddle, by pointing your paddle tip downward, that's going to help you lift the ball. Too many players, they miss this step and it goes into the net. By dropping my paddle, that's going to allow me to get under it, think low to high, think 6 o'clock here, 12 o'clock here. I'm going to be able to brush the ball to lift the ball up. Now, when I drop it, this is a big disclaimer. You don't force it to go down. All you do for a drop is allow gravity to do its work. Now, you don't want the paddle to dangle in your fingers, but all you're going to do is just release your hands and let that paddle tip face down. I want you to think if there was a circle pointed behind you, like right here, you would point the tip of your paddle back towards that circle. Now, after the drop, you are going to make contact. This is when you're going to proceed with your swing. When I make contact, I want to make sure contact is out in front and away from my body. Once again, when I make contact, I want to make sure that contact is out in front and away from my body. Too many players, they get the ball too close, they get the ball too late, I want to make sure contact's out in front and away from my body. How can we ensure that our contact is out in front and away from our body? We need to hit the ball early. If you ever feel like you're getting jammed, that ball is too close, that is because you're waiting for the ball to come to you. I want you to think in pickleball, especially when you're hitting your two-handed backhand, that you are being proactive, not reactive. Once again, you want to be proactive and go to the ball. Do not let the ball come to you. Again, if you can think that you are going to go to the ball and not let the ball come to you, it's going to help you so much in every single one of your pickleball shots. After I make contact, now it is the follow through. Now, remember, in pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. The more you let the paddle work for you, the less that you work for the paddle, the better it's going to be. A lot of players, they don't have a follow through. They can't hit a better backhand than this because they just try to get the ball in. Well, maybe they can. It goes in. But instead of stopping after contact or at contact, you need to make sure that you fully follow through. By fully following through, it's going to allow that you are swinging low to high. Notice when I follow through, where do I follow through? I follow through over my shoulder. I want you to notice my elbows. My elbows are pointing forward towards my target. That's how I ensure accuracy. Also, the butt cap of my paddle is pointing towards wherever I want to hit. I want to make sure, again, when I follow through, I am pointing both of my elbows towards my target, and I want the butt cap here, okay? I don't want my elbows out wide because that's going to mean I pull it. I want both of my elbows up. I also want the tip of my paddle facing up. By having the proper follow through with my elbows up, that's going to ensure that I did a complete swing. That's also going to ensure that I have swung low to high. Notice when I take my paddle back up here, then I drop, then I point my elbows up. Look, that's going to ensure that I swung low to high 6 to 12 like we were speaking about before, and that's going to be able to help you really hit that two-handed backhand. Now, when we do the elbows, big disclaimer, instead of forcing it up here, just like we said with our drop, just let it happen. I want you to think that you're letting your paddle get up to your elbows as a result. Once again, it is as a result, okay? I'm not forcing my elbows to end up there. I'm not forcing it. I am letting my follow through end up there. There's a big difference. If I force it, my ball can go super long. The only way that I can hit the ball in is if I ease off the power. If I let my paddle get there, that's going to ensure that I can hit the ball as hard as I want. Now, again, just to review, again, ready position, paddle tip facing up, proper grip, okay? Ready position, grip, checkpoint number one. Then take back, okay? I want to make sure my hips are sideways, paddle face pointing aside, paddle tip is pointing up, take back. Then drop. I'm releasing my hands, pointing paddle tip down, contact out in front, away from my body, being proactive, not reactive. Follow through, elbows up, and pointing towards my target. Now, if you want to take your backhand to the next level, I want you to think that we are making a C. Making a C is a great way to piece all of our checkpoints together. I want you to watch this. When I take my paddle back, that's the top of the C. Then when I drop, that's the curve of the C. And then when I follow through, it's like a C with a check mark, or a Nike swoosh, but then a little C on top, right? So you want to think that you're making a C. A great way to piece each checkpoint together is by saying it out loud. So when I'm hitting, to allow my muscle memory to register and get used to, I can say, take back, drop, contact, follow through, take back, drop, contact, follow through. The goal is to make it continuous. I know it's going to be hard at first, but step by step, start ready position, then go take back, then swing, and add it on piece by piece. The next thing, if you want to make your two-handed backhand so much better, do this after you learn all the checkpoints. It's going to make it night or day. Your top hand does all the work. For your right-handed backhanders, the left hand does the talking, the right hand does the walking. For the left-handed backhanders, the right hand does the walking, the talking, the left hand does the walking. All that you're going to do for your two-handed backhand is hit a top-handed forehand. What I mean by that is by utilizing your non-dominant hand. When I swing, the bottom hand's just along for the ride. This top hand is doing all of the work. That's going to give you spin, control, consistency. If you can use your top hand, it is going to be night or day. A lot of players we get at Universal Rackets are like, oh, I want to improve my backhand. Okay, sounds good, we can do it. And I'm like, have you used your top hand before? They're like, no. I'm like, cool. Write me the check now, pay me before you even do this tip, because that's the only tip I need to give you to hit an amazing backhand. If you use that top hand, it's going to be night or day. A great drill to do, 2 drills to do, is number 1, for your two-handed backhand, have someone feed it to you, or you could even do bounce feeds. What you're going to do is you're going to swing, and you're going to take your dominant hand off and wave to your opponent. That's going to ensure that you get that feeling of the left hand. Another drill that you can do is just do a swing with your non-dominant hand, forehand, and that's going to teach. So I do a couple of these, and then I do these, put it together, but have that same feeling, and I would be good to go. Now, if you guys stay tuned for this whole video, you're going to learn, once again, and you have learned step by step, how to hit an amazing two-handed backhand drive. Keep going, step by step, use these tips, use these tricks, follow, subscribe, check out our newsletter, amazing events happening all over. If you want any type programs, fill out the form. If you want these amazing Selkirk Amp Pro Air, I love it, amazing colors, amazing feel, perfect paddle, click the link in the description, use our code ADV-Universal so you can get a gift card with your purchase. Have a good one, happy hitting, and we will see you guys next time on court.